I am changing Wealth Yoga Wine into more of a resource for people who might be a bit concerned about their future starting in 2025. The reason I'm doing this is because on my podcast now, Wealth Yoga Wine, there are always free resources, links to classes, links to books, links to more information, maybe a YouTube video. I want to do this because there are a lot of resources that people simply don't know about. On this podcast, I'm just going to name one resource that will help your psyche go into 2025 with a much stronger backbone. And it's about Pritchett because he has a quote followed by 3 of his beliefs, 3 great truths. You have an amazing capacity for change. You are the most powerful person in your life. You are the solution to your future. Lastly, get ruthless about trying something different. Going forward, we're all going to need to try something different. Some of you may know Mark Cuban, know of his business, Shark Tank, which he's no longer in, but he started it and highly successful. He's a good billionaire, not like some of the weird billionaires out there. But he recently decided to leave Texas, relocate one of his businesses. It's probably the drug pharmacy called Cost Plus, where you can get prescription drugs very inexpensively through that company. Just relocated one of his companies to California because the policies and the practices there are more in tune with the people. And to me, that's getting ruthless with trying something different. I am also doing the same thing. I decided after the election that I want to move myself and my business to another state that has the same moral values, has diversity, has a more interesting type of lifestyle. It's a beautiful state. And I think this is something that we all need to look at. Can we change things within our own lives to make our lives, our family, our friends' lives better? I'm going to include in the next following podcast how to start a community garden, how to start a community club, how to reach out to different clubs and meetups in your area. Because I think one of the reasons we Americans are having difficulty is because we come home from work, sit in front of the telly, and don't do anything else with their lives. We easily have 2 more hours we could take each day and spend some time outside of the television world. I don't own a television. I haven't owned a television for 40 years plus. I know that's hard to believe, but I have an iPad. I have my iPhone. But I don't spend hours on it. When I do help out at a local restaurant, but I do have my own business. It's this podcast, and I use it to help people create a lifestyle for themselves. And that's what I want folks to look forward to, is that going forward, I am going to include in the podcast details resources that will help you start a side hustle where you can stay at home and do this. You're not going to go work for somebody. You're going to work for yourself. I really feel working for yourself, having some kind of side hustle, will be the best way to keep your head above drowning. But also, that community garden, I'm seriously want people to look into this. You can even do an indoor garden if you're in the colder states, because food costs are stupid in the United States. I'm a vegetarian. I don't know what you folks do who are carnivores. Just to wrap this up, the format's going to be the same, Wealth Yoga Wine. The wealth is never going to be about money. It's going to be about helping people find a side hustle. If you want to reach out to me and say, Valerie, I have this talent, I would love to do this as a side hustle, I can find the resources for you to do this. I'm really good at researching. That's what my master's degree is in. I am going to continue to put the Abundance Kriya on, but this time I'm also going to add how to forget the past, because 2024 is done. We need to move into 2025 and build and create our own economy. I think we depend a little bit too much on the government, perhaps. I want us to focus on building our own lifestyle. Yes, there's a lot going on outside of our lives that does have an impact, but as Pritchett says, we determine our future. We are the solution to our future. We are the most powerful person. We are the most powerful person. Everything that you want is inside of you. I know it sounds like preaching, so I'm going to stop that. But these two Kriyas, the one for abundance and the one to help you forget the past, are also pathways to creating something wonderful and beautiful. Wine, I know I always talk about, and I want people to actually look at being more of a vegetarian lifestyle, because you know what? It will save you money. So going forward, I'm going to talk about food and wine pairing, but it's only going to be about vegetarian meals. In the past, I used to entertain you folks with dead animal recipes, even though I haven't had any kind of meat for 40 years. Gosh, it goes with my television. But that's it. To wrap it up, that's how the podcast is going to change for 2025. It's going to be resource driven. That means you're going to have to click on my podcast, open it up, and read the podcast details for little gems that'll be in there to help you get a side hustle, to help you find what your hidden talent is so that you can make more money, to help you start a community garden, to help you think differently, not driving the car down to the neighborhood block to get a bottle of milk. Right? So that's it. To wrap this up, I'm Valerie Helm. I create this podcast, Wealth Yoga Wine, once a week to help people improve their thoughts, their mindset, because thoughts become things, so choose the good ones. Merci, et au revoir.